I'm insane in the membrane, insane in the membrane. That's why everybody wants me.
I love it, man. Well, I got the whole tribe is excited to do this. It's the world's largest community of military veteran entrepreneurs, and a lot of them are big fans of you and they follow you. So they're excited to hear that we're doing this.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you. Appreciate you doing it, because if you weren't doing it, we wouldn't be doing this.
Well, I definitely agree with that. So the reason I have you in is because you're the only influencer out there, man. It's always supportive of the troops. So I wanted to make sure to get you in here and show some love back to you.
Yeah, well, thank you, man. Look, it's you guys go over there, you fight for our freedom. Probably a bunch of those fights don't make any sense to anybody. Y'all still do it.
Yep.
And then you come back here, and I see so many guys come back here and never find their freedom.
Right.
And so it's just I didn't serve, and it's one of the probably the biggest. My dad died when I was 10. That's a big regret. And then I didn't serve, and that's a massive regret. Like I wish I'd have spent at least a couple years, dude. Everybody ought to spend a couple years getting their fingers dirty,
Oh yeah. Well, I'd say I want to continue this conversation. I'm gonna go live right now, and then we'll get started. All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Vetpreneur podcast. So this is Grant Cardone is with us. Grant, I want to thank you, man. I want to thank you for coming in, doing a live Q&A with the world's largest community of military veteran entrepreneurs. They're all pumped up. They're all excited. So we all appreciate you coming in and taking the time to answer everybody's questions. So I want to start with one question, and then I'll let my tribe continue to give their questions, and I'll read them out to you for you to answer.
Dude, first of all, I got to know something, man. Where's the blankets on your bed, man?
Oh, I have 3 kids, so they instead of making the bed, I just took them off.
Oh, okay, so, okay, all right.
We're in a
you've been out too long because you should know better than to get out of bed without making that bed up.
Well, there's pizza all over the covers. You don't treat your hotel room the same way you treat your house.
Okay.
So here's my question. Why do you think that it's statistically proven that military veterans are more likely to succeed in business versus anyone else? So someone who has served is more likely to succeed.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's really pretty simple, right? Because the vet doesn't mind following. It's not about leadership. Right. It's about following. Like I hear all the time, everybody wants to be a leader, man. People that don't serve want to be leaders. Like, I want to lead. Dude, you can't even serve. If you can't serve, you can't lead. And the thing that I believe the vet offers more than anything else is the ability to follow an order, the ability to play as a team member, that I don't have to be the upfront guy all the time. Everybody wants to be the upfront guy. Most entrepreneurs make less money than employees by about $20,000 a year. And so why? Because they have this idea they want to lead and they haven't even learned how to serve. And I think the military, all military units, like you have to know, you have to be willing to serve, you have to be willing to take orders, you have to be willing to follow, you have to be willing to execute on orders sometimes that you don't even agree with, and get the job done even though you don't agree with it. And that's why I believe vets statistically are more successful in business than those that are not.
See, I love that, man. I actually talked about this to the tribe all the time. I always tell them the best leader is first the best follower, because you first have to be a great follower before you can expect people to follow you. So I love that. I talk about that all the time in the tribe. All right, guys, I want you to start asking questions. Let me know. Ask your questions out there. I'll read them out to Grant, and he'll answer the ones that I get out there to him. So we've got him for a little bit. So I want to make sure to get the best quality, high quality questions in here.
Let me just say this before you jump into the questions. The suicide rate of guys coming back. I was working with the Pentagon. I've been at Fort Bragg, Fort Benning, and then I was at the Pentagon. And there was about 11 guys speaking to troops in transitions. And I was the only one that said this. I heard over and over, oh, you guys need to love, in transition, you were doing something over there, and then you're coming back, you were pink slipped, and you're coming back to start your new life over in transition, right? And the suicide rate's like, I don't know if it's actually 22 or that's just the promoted number.
Right.
But look, the deal is, it's because you don't have a mission anymore. There's no mission. And I heard a lot of the guys over there were suggesting to the vet that was pink slipped to find something he loved to do. And I'm like, dude, are you kidding? He didn't love the last job he had, but he did it.
Right.
So I'm like, you don't need to find something you love. You need to find something that can make you money so that you can take care of your family. You need to find something, even if you don't love it, that's going to pay you. So if you're going to be a truck driver or an engineer or whatever, you need to find somebody in America that will pay money, good money, not average money, because I think the vet should be paid more. Like if there's minimum wage in the country for some punk, 12-year-old punk or 15-year-old punk that doesn't know anything, there ought to be a freaking like an altitude wage for people that serve. When you come back, you have to pay them more money in order to hire them.
See, and I love that because I spoke on suicide for 3 years. So I traveled the country. I actually spoke with American Dream U, the same people that you ended up speaking with as well. And it's the whole suicide rates. I definitely agree, right? It's that mission, it's that purpose. But as veterans, a lot of us are huge on families, man. We didn't get much family time when we were in. You're gone all the time. So I love the whole idea of just you want to make that money because you want to spend more time with your family. I got out with a GED and military experience. That was my only resume, was a GED and military experience. So my best job I could get was $12 an hour. That's why I became an entrepreneur and make a hell of a lot more than that now. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into these questions and let these guys ask some things. The first question we have is, if you could go back in time and do one thing differently, what would that be?
Well, if I could go back in time, one thing I would do is I would not do drugs. I did drugs from 15 till 25 years old. Mm-hmm. Number two, I would definitely do a 2-year stint in the military to learn the humility, just the humility lessons.
Right.
You know, like everybody should clean toilets. You know, everybody should drive people around in a truck, whatever your job is, man. Like, you know, people talk about humility a lot. I think a lot of people cop out with humility. They're like, oh, I'm humble. They've actually adopted the humble thing and exchanged it for any ideas of success. I want a combination of the two. I want to be super successful, dude. I want to be humble in my own jet. Like I want to be the boss, but I want to be willing to follow too. You know, so, and I think that there's some skills that are taught there. You know, I know the Marines, I think, are taught, hey, man, everything you need, we gave you.
Right.
Might be the Army too. Everything. I'm like, I need my phone. Dude, if it ain't in that bag, you don't need it. The reality is when you get out, you do not have everything you need. Okay? You need a lot more in this world, in the entrepreneurial world, in the business world. People need a lot more than what colleges, the military give you. I went to college, 17 years I spent in schools, 5 years in college. They did not give me what I needed to go out into the real world and make money.
So do you think that anything from college that you learned from college is something that has led into your success at all? Or is it, you feel like it's a waste of time?
I would not, if I'm worth $200 or $300 million today, I wouldn't give college $1 of credit.
I love it. I love hearing that because I hate college. So, all right, next question is, Grant Cardone, where do you feel most entrepreneurs fail when trying to grow their business?
I think they fail because they don't get money fast enough. I just finished doing a coaching session with a guy. He had this idea for a business, and for 20 minutes, he told me about this business, and for 20 minutes, I said, bro, that is not a business. What you're describing to me, you will never make it work. You will never make money in it. It's going to freaking tap you out. You'll tap out on credit cards before you ever make money. And then the last 10 minutes, we figured out a way for him to have a business. So businesses fail. Harvard says businesses fail because they're undercapitalized. It's not true. Businesses fail because you don't make money fast enough. You don't sell products or services in quantities great enough at margins big enough. So the big mistake is people go after these idealist ideas, these concepts, these ideas. Oh my God, I have this great idea for a business, okay? Dude, you need a business that makes money so that you can make the idea a reality. So maybe the ideal product, the ideal service comes later. You need to build a business that makes you money today, takes care of your family, takes care of your employees, takes care of the dream, that funds the possibilities so that you can get to the ideal later on.
I love that, because I actually am extremely passionate. I talk about that all the time. I talk about how, you can have a dream and you can want to create the coolest thing and save the world. But before you save the world, you got to save yourself. You got to save your family.
And sometimes there's going to be collateral damage, as you guys know.
Right.
Like, everybody's like, I don't want to give me and my buddy, we got a great idea for a business. I'm like, bro, your buddy there is going to get blown up.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to do the blowing up. Like, this is not going to work. Just because you guys serve together doesn't mean you can make a business together. The mission's different, man. The mission's different. In business, unlike a military operation, they're very, very similar, but most people don't treat businesses like a military operation. There's probably more deaths in a business venture than there is military ventures.
I definitely agree with that. So I love hearing that, right? Because I teach my tribe, I educate them by using military experiences. I teach them through what they already know, right? We use acronyms. It's like our own language. And so I teach them through sit reps and op orders and all these words that they understand, because going out on mission in Iraq is very similar to go to a mission in business. So same concept, just different things, a little less bullets and physical explosions, but definitely still a lot more danger, and you're putting your own family at risk instead of yourself.
But let me just take that, and again, I didn't serve, so I don't know, but I would expect if you're going to do something in Iraq, Afghanistan, South America, you have a target, there is a mission, somebody's watching supplies, somebody's watching, hey, do we have food supplies? Do we have ammunition? Okay. Do we have support? Do we have air support? I know I have this target over here. Did we accomplish the target or not? Like in business, there's so many business owners that have no target, no concept of supplies, okay? Like you got to have money, man. You got to have money to pay for somebody to bring in the supplies so that we can feed ourselves. But 64% of all businesses break even or lose money. The reason the U.S. military is so strong, dude, is we keep providing funding.
Right.
The money's made up, though. When you go over there, you don't have to worry about money. But you do need to worry about supplies. In business, dude, the supplies are money. You need money to make your business work. 3/4 of all business owners have no employees. Would you ever run a mission by yourself?
No.
Nobody would do that, man. But 22 million small businesses in America are running missions with no support.
So if you're a solopreneur, that message was out to you, man. It's time to grow your business and build that team. So here's another question. What one book written in the past 100 years would you say has the biggest impact on your success?
The book Dianetics, man, blew my mind. You've ever been hurt? You've ever had some kind of mental stuff going on, dude, that's causing you to have crazy ideas? If you're going down the road and all of a sudden you think, man, I'm just going to drive into that traffic over there and see what a head-on wreck feels like, If you've ever had an addiction problem, compulsive, obsessive, depression, anxieties, dude, read the book Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard. All about the mind, how it works, how to control it, and how to get rid of negative images. I read the book I was so impressed with the book, I read it 7 times.
7 times. See, here's my problem. I suck at reading. Right? I have to do audiobooks. I can't keep my attention focused on an actual book. Do you actually read books or do you do audiobooks?
No, I read the book, but look, if you suck at reading, you need to figure out why you suck at reading. Because that's not innate to an individual, right? So nobody actually taught you how to read.
Right. Well, my attention, I get bored.
You get bored because you're hitting words you don't understand. So if you've ever read down a sheet of paper, by the way, this is in that book. If you've ever read down a page and at the end of the page, you're like, I have no idea what was on that page. It's because you hit a word you don't understand. And it makes the rest of the page blank because your attention's stuck on the word you don't understand.
That's awesome. So here's another question is, how do you maintain wealth without getting comfortable?
Well, I get rid of my money. That's how I do it. I just stay broke all the time. I never have any money.
You're always investing, right?
Yeah, exactly. What I do is I run my business and I reinvest in the business. And I keep reinvesting in the business until the business pukes. The business pukes on me and there's overflowing money everywhere. I'm like, okay, I can't buy any more ads. I can't spend any more money on marketing. I can't, use any more office space. I can't hire any more people. So what am I going to do with all this leftover money? I don't save that money the way most of us were brought up by our parents. Save money, buy a house, have equity in the house. I don't do that. What I do is take the money and I get rid of it. I basically invest in other ventures. So I throw all my money back into real estate. If you follow what I do, all my money goes into income producing real estate, not homes, by the way, apartment complexes, not next to military bases, by the way. Because if you guys get shipped out, I'm going to go to a 50% vacancy. I invest only in cash flow producing properties over long periods of time. It protects me against inflation. I'm broke. And then checks start coming in every month after that. And then I go do that again.
So what about, do you ever get worried about another like pop in the real estate world, another big bang to happen again?
Every night I go to sleep and I say, man, please bring it on. When we're going to have the next freaking, the next economic contraction? Please bring it on. The sooner the better for me.
Why is that?
Because people are not prepared for it. I am. Tide goes out, we find out who's wearing clothes, man. And there's a lot of pretenders out there. There's a lot of people just kind of like dabbling. So I don't mind. I like it when it's real. Right now, it's not real right now. People, this thing is not, you got people on Instagram making $200,000 a year. There's not even a product, like stupid stuff going on. Look, we have more debt today than we've had in the history of the United States of America. We got $6 trillion more debt than we had in 2009. So there's going to be another pain day. It's not going to affect my real estate because my real estate would get better, not worse, because it's a rental property. People have to live somewhere. So when things collapse, you want to be in for everybody out there that's looking at a business, man. You want to be in a business that's protected against contraction that would do better, not worse.
So how many doors do you have right now?
4,500.
Woo! It's a good number.
No, 45,000 is a good number. 45,000 is the target.
Awesome. So let me see what else comes up here for the other questions. People keep talking about how about Cardone University and how you help veterans out with that. Can you tell the tribe more about Cardone University and what you do for vets?
Cardone University /vets. Cardone University /vets is free for vets. It's free for active. If you're in the military, I'll give you the program. So this is a program that I have sold to companies and corporations for 7 or 8 years. I've made a lot of money selling this program. Like we'll sell this program, we'll create a modification of this program for, let's say, Ashley Furniture or Toyota, and it teaches their company how to better serve the customer, how to take phone calls, make phone calls, sell their products, how to make more money. It focuses on the top line of a business. So we created a modified version of that. It's not the complete university, but it's a great start for vets to teach them how to go into the marketplace, represent themselves, negotiate a deal, close people, talk to people, communicate to people, how to build a business. It is our core product. It's our number one product. We have 40 million views. Test somebody out. Gives them entrepreneurial data. Test the individual out on it. No reading required. All delivered in video, all in very short segments. Some of the segments are 2 minutes, some of them are a minute, because I know you got an attention span issue.
Right. I definitely do. So I've used Cardone University in my last business, my publicity business, and so I took advantage of the veteran program.
I'm listening. I'm watching you in 2 places now. Sorry.
All right, so here's a question. Do you feel people get caught up in the consumption of information and lack the execution? And what do you recommend to these people besides just go do it?
Yeah, so the just go do it is not the issue. I hear a lot of people say, hey man, just go do it. The problem is people are consuming too much conflicting content.
Right.
Right, so imagine if my commander said go left and there was another commander that said go right. What does the guy do?
Stands there confused.
He does nothing. And this is what's happening today. People are not lazy, and it's impossible to do nothing. But it is possible to go into conflict. And the moment I go into conflict, I don't move. It doesn't mean I'm doing nothing. It means I want to go left, I want to go right. I want to please him, I want to please him. Which one's right? I don't know what to do. So if you listen to me and Dave Ramsey, you won't do anything financially. Pick one of us. You got to decide whether you want to do Dave's deal or my deal.
Right.
Because your deal ain't working. See, Dave's got a TV show. Okay, I created my own studio. Dave says don't use debt. I say use as much as you can. So Dave says save money. I'm like, money's useless, dude. Don't save money, use money. Both of us agree a house is a liability, not an asset. But you could get enough conflicting data from us that you wouldn't know what to do, right? So what I would tell people is find one mentor. If you're going to have two, make sure they're not in conflict. You shouldn't have more than two. And you need to make sure the they're not conflict, right? If you're going to have me, don't have a therapist. Because the therapist is going to tell you, hey, that dude is whacked. That dude is compulsive, obsessive, ADD, ADHD, bipolar. He's everything that's wrong with you, right? So you're going to be like, oh, there's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you, man. Something wrong with the therapist.
I love that because I'm a big believer in that, right? And right now in the veteran world, the VA is our drug dealer, right? Like they just pump us full of drugs, and the VA system is being used as a fucking welfare. It's a welfare system. Like people are taking advantage of it when they shouldn't be. And I talk about this to the tribe.
It's a big arm for big pharma too.
Right.
Like it's a shame, man. Look, I've been a therapist. I've been to a bunch of them. Okay, it's all bullshit. They charge you $200 an hour for 50 minutes. I mean, you got to know it's a scam when it starts like that, right? If the mission was an hour, in your world, it would be 1 hour. In a therapist world, it's 50 minutes. So the whole thing starts out as a lie. I've had therapists want to put me on meds within 20 minutes of meeting me. Left there, went and saw another therapist. I was just trying to find out about the meds thing, right? The next one says, oh, yeah, you got this problem. I'm like, how do you guys know what problem I got, by the way? Okay. Well, you have attention deficit disorder. Why do you think I have attention deficit disorder? Right? Because, man, look, like you're never satisfied. You lost your dad when you were 10. Clearly, you have a post-traumatic stress syndrome. I'm like, dude, I didn't serve. Yeah, but you lost your dad, and that's a form of. And your older brother touched you. When you were 12, so that's a problem. Like I'm like, dude, what is it, bro? A lot of worse things have happened than a big brother touching a little brother, and losing your dad. Everybody loses their parents. If you're lucky, you'll lose your parents. Otherwise, you died before they did. I'm like, I don't need meds, man. I need somebody to acknowledge that I got a lot going on, and that I want to do a lot of different things. And then I can fight more than one mission at a time. And I got a tremendous amount of energy. And then I'm a spiritual being that's capable of doing enormous things other than just freaking lugging a wrench around. So the fact that she wants to put me in one lane, there's guys out there like, stay in your lane, stay in your lane. No, dude, I got 6 lanes and I want to use them all.
You want a super fucking highway.
Exactly,
dude. Not a backcountry road.
Exactly, and I'm willing to use the backcountry road if I need to.
Right.
But I think all this stuff is just bullshit. Frankly, do I think people have depression? Yes, I suffer from depression from the age of 12 years old to 45 years old, and the therapist did not help it. Mm-hmm. What helped it was a mission. Give me a mission, dude. Give me an enemy. Give me a barrier. Give me a possible win. Give me a threat. Put a threat in my environment. I'm happy. I'm happy, son of a bitch. Okay? Just give me a threat. I need a threat. I need an enemy. I need barriers. Give me a team around me that says, we can do this. I don't have depression in that moment.
See, that's what I love. So I've watched your content for a while now, and I grew up in a really rough life. My mom was a prostitute. She's in prison for murder. I didn't have my dad around. Like I went through a lot of crazy shit since I was a kid. And that's actually what makes me to the level of success that I'm at. Now, am I as successful as you? Not yet. I will be. right?
Yeah.
I'm turning 30 next month. So I got time. I'm going to keep hustling and grinding. I'm going to reach that level soon. And I know I am because I live off of fight. I love the fight. I love to fight life. I love to fight to create something that's never been created before. And I see a lot of that in your content as well.
Yeah. Dude, I love the game. I love the game. There is no game without a loss, by the way.
Right.
There's got to be a threat of a loss, right? Whether it's Monopoly or Scrabble or poker, or there has to be a loss. You know, I was playing a guy, Gin Rummy, the other night, and he's like, let's play. I'm like, dude, I'm not playing if it's for nothing. There's got to be a loss. It's not about the money. It could be about a hamburger. It could be about who buys the gas. It doesn't matter what it is, but there has to be a threat in the environment. This is why I left California. I left California because there's no threat in the environment. The weather is so stable that it gives you the illusion that everything's fine forever. This is the problem with America, by the way. And it goes back to your question about comfort and financial freedom. America is under the illusion that everything's fine. And it's not fine. You know, this is the home of the, what is it? Home of the free and the land of the brave. Dude, ain't nobody free in this country. And bravery, you can't find it. So it's all bullshit, man. It's like the middle class. You know, the middle class is better than what? Better than Afghanistan? 76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That does not sound like freedom to me.
God, listen to that number, 76%. Man, it puts your whole life in a different perspective, right? I definitely have my family and I, we live out of an RV. We travel the country. I got 3 kids. They all homeschool. I love it, man. This is the lifestyle I think everybody deserves. So I'm gonna ask one more question, Grant, and I'm gonna let you get on with continuing to build your empire. But here's a question someone had asked, what would you say is the best way to get into real estate with little to no experience?
You need it with little or no experience or little or no money.
I guess that's the difference, huh?
So I got into it with no experience and zero experience. I don't have a license. I still don't have a license today. I bought $1 billion worth of real estate, one property at a time. Mm. So first thing I would tell you to do is tune into my show on Mondays. Every Monday I do a show on real estate. You want to grab it, you can get it at iTunes. It's at Cardone Zone on iTunes. The Cardone Zone on iTunes. And it's free. It'll show you how to start buying deals. You're not going to buy deals with no money down. If you buy a deal with no money down, it's garbage. So anybody that tells you there's no money down deals does not own the kind of real estate I own.
And you like the residual income, the ones that you rent out and people can continue to pay on, not just flipping houses.
If you're just getting into the real estate game, the only way to play that game in the beginning with no money is to flip deals. But flipping deals is not real estate, that's sales. Mm. Right? So a residential real estate broker is not investing in real estate, he's selling real estate. It's another sales gig, which is fine, right? But if you're flipping homes, it's really about speculation. You're speculating. I'm going to buy this house. I'm going to buy this house right here. I'm going to fix it up, turn it around a little bit, put a sticker on it. Boom, I'm going to sell it. But you're speculating that somebody else is going to pay you more money for that thing later. And that's not the kind of real estate. I buy real estate that produces income next month. And then we sit and wait for inflation to push that thing up while we're getting paid to wait. And the way I started it was I just shopped a lot of property. I didn't go get a class. I didn't spend money. I walked properties, looked at them, studied reports, studied income statements. That's what I would tell you.
Awesome. Well, again, guys, that's Cardone Zone. Grant, I want to thank you for coming onto the show, for coming into the tribe and answering all these questions. I know you got a lot going on. You're extremely busy. Shout out everybody in the tribe. Shout out to Ron Suzuki, who reached out to Grant's wife and the team, and we made all this happen. So again, man, I appreciate you. And we, all of us, I want you to hear from the veterans. We all appreciate the fact that you are constantly supporting veterans. I don't see anyone with your level of following, with your level of success, doing that at all. And so I want you to know that we all see it and we all appreciate it so much more than you probably hear or know.
You know what, the way you guys could show appreciation for that is show me how to help you more.
Okay.
That's what I want to do. I want to be able to help more. I don't feel like I'm doing enough. So when you tell me that, all I'm reminded of is, dude, I've only done like 3 or 4 things for you guys. Like, we've offered Cardone University, I've been to Fort Bragg, Fort Benning, Pentagon. I want to know how I can help you more.
Well, awesome, man. Well, I know that you're starting to travel too and go to different cities. So I'd like to reach out and maybe give you some ideas from my own perspective and from some tribe members. And, you know, I'll reach out to Katie and get that over for her.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate everybody watching, all right?
All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks.